Have you ever been on the grind so much and you just feel completely exhausted? Maybe you were trying to finish that webinar, or you had that pitch deck to finally finish, and you just feel like you're empty inside, like in your head you're just done. How do we overcome that? How do we prevent that? What is it? Well, my name's Moffett with Master Life by Design, and today's video is how to stop burnout for high-performing entrepreneurs. And so look, if you're a high-performing entrepreneur that wants to get to that next level, well, this video is for you, because I know after coaching thousands of people and thousands of entrepreneurs, the things that really hold them back and the things that allow them to accelerate, the patterns are obvious. So with that, let's jump in. All right, so here's the deal. We all want to achieve, right? Like as a high-performing entrepreneur, we all want to achieve. But at some point in our career, we've all hit burnout, right? We're just over what we're doing, right? It's like, will this game ever end? Will this project ever end? And what I'm here to tell you is yes, but how you finish is very important, right? Because most people are empty when they come to the finish line, especially on a project. So what causes burnout? The thing that causes burnout is, well, so much of our time is spent discharging, creating, right? Like just giving from ourselves, which is beautiful because as a high-performing entrepreneur, a creator, you have a lot in you, right? But you want to get your message out to the world. You want to get your product, your service, your idea, your thought out into the world. The problem is we just sit at our desk and we just barrel away at it, right? It's like we just boom, 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 boom. And what happens is we're just putting out all this energy. But here's the question I pose to you. Where are you getting this energy recharged? Because just for example, if you look at your car, you're constantly putting out, if you're driving somewhere, you're constantly putting fuel through the system. Well, when are you refueling? See, so many people are just putting things out. They never take time to fill up their gas tank. And after doing this for a decade, I've seen people, high-performing entrepreneurs, they have their intention is great, but their behavior is off. And what do I mean by that? What I mean is they're just constantly putting out, they're never filling up their fuel tank. And what's crazy about it is they think whatever they're putting out is going to help them get a great return. The reason why their behavior is off is because their psychology is off. They have a belief that, oh, I could just knock this out. And next thing you know, 10, 12, 15 hours later, they're just empty. Oh, right? How many times has that happened to you? So what we want to do is, instead of discharging and putting energy out all the time, we want to start to recharge. There's a difference. If you're going to create one principle, take one nugget distinction away from this video, is stop discharging all the time and start recharging. We want to recharge, not just discharge. And so I'll give you a couple examples on this, but that's what causes burnout, is when you're constantly discharging. And I see it time and time again, and then their performance starts to go down, their results start to decrease, and they wonder, what is it? And they think, oh, well, I just got to put more time into it. And that is the opposite. In fact, in Brandon Burchard's high performance habits, with his book, he talks about in that video, or in that book, he talks about how studies show that after about 60 to 90 minutes, our performance starts to decrease. So it's a great opportunity to get up, walk around, get some water, drink, eat, whatever you need to do to start to kind of give yourself that extra boost, to kind of give yourself the break. Because that's like an engine driving across the country. If it's getting hot, it's just going to get hotter and hotter and hotter until it explodes. It's done. It dies, right? So we got to take time to cool down, to recharge. So what I invite you to do, if you're a high-performing entrepreneur, if you want to avoid burnout, you got to figure out, one, what is it that you can do every day that fills your cup up? And I'm not talking about Netflix. I'm not talking about sitting on the couch. I'm talking about something that stimulates you, something that excites you. Maybe it's jumping on your bike and going for a ride in the mountains or around your community. Maybe it's reading a great book. Maybe it's sitting outside in a chair and just connecting with nature. Maybe it's meditating for 10, 20 minutes. There's a variety of action items that don't take a lot of time, but do fill your cup. Because if you're starting out on a new webinar, a new pitch deck, and you spend 15 hours that day, and you're literally on 5% of what's left in your tank, and you go to sleep, Well, yeah, you're going to go up maybe, let's just say, to 30%. And you start your day off at 30%. And you do another 15 hours. Right now, you're damn near on fumes. And how long do you repeat this until you're just like, ugh? Even when you're done the project or done the pitch deck or the webinar, you're still on empty. So if you're going to make a shift, you got to, number one, figure out what can you do on a daily basis just to fill your cup up to a certain degree, right? Reading a book for 20 minutes, it allows you to fill up a little bit more. The second thing is once a week, pick time to go out and recharge for a longer period than, let's say, 20 minutes. We're talking about a few hours, 4, 6, 8 hours. So that might be going to the beach. That might be going snowboarding. That might be jumping on a quad and, just hitting the trails. Whatever that is, whatever fills you up. Maybe for some of you, it's like you're gardening. You love, doing that. I was just out there planting all weekend because I love that. That fills my cup. It allows me time to think through things that I want or I need to go through in my own psychology. It allows me to kind of connect with nature. It also inspires me once I see that finished product. Like I get to see my yard look gorgeous and then people coming and saying, wow, Joe, your yard looks amazing. Like, I love that. So for me, that fills my cup. And there's so many other ways and other things that I do it. I was just mountain biking with my buddy yesterday. We went for 2 hours and hit the trails. So what is it for you? The reason why most entrepreneurs hit burnout is because they're always giving, always putting out and discharging. They're never receiving. They're never filling up their tank. They're never recharging. If you're going to be a high-performing entrepreneur, you got to take time to recharge. You look at some of the GOATs in, sports history, Tom Brady, Michael Jordan, right? These guys, they were masters at their craft. They were masters at what they put out there. However, they all took time to recharge. They all spent time with their families. Jordan, he loved golfing. That filled his tank up. Sometimes he would do it every day. But he took time to recharge, even during the season sometimes. And so what are you doing during your season, during your profession, while you're getting that pitch deck done, that webinar kicked out there, right? That sales, script done. What are you doing to recharge on a daily basis? Because here's the thing. I've seen entrepreneurs burn out. And when they burn out, they stop working on what they were doing. Their revenue starts to decrease. They start getting all up in their head. And they start thinking about how they're not good enough, how they're not worthy enough, how entrepreneurship isn't for them. It's so hard. And they make up all these stories. And then what do? They come to me to say, fix me. And first off, they're not even broken. They just had a certain story playing for so long. And we got to change that tune. We got to change the way they see themselves. But they don't see that the true root cause is that their tank is on E instead of when they're filled up. Imagine every day that you woke up and you felt 100%. You felt recharged. Even if you were in the middle of a project, you would be putting your best foot forward every step of the way. And even when you go to pitch or to record that webinar, you'd be at 100%. However, I found most entrepreneurs, they're running around 40% or less each day because they just have so much to do. And that stems back to their psychology and why they're not leveraging or actually having people help them. But that's a whole nother issue. I want you to know that what causes burnouts for high-performing entrepreneurs is not that they don't have enough time or enough work ethic. It's that they're empty on the inside. If you would take time to recharge versus discharge daily and on a weekly basis, you'll watch your performance go through the roof instead of watching it slowly decrease. And for some of you, it rapidly decreases, depending on how you're wired. So I'm going to encourage you, if you're a high-performing entrepreneur and you've experienced burnout, use this principle, recharge versus discharge. If you're an entrepreneur and you haven't experienced this yet, good. Don't allow it to happen to you. What you want to do is you want to make sure you're recharging on a daily basis for a shorter period of time and once a week, recharging for a few hours. Do something to fill your cup. It's easy to hear this. It's another thing to do it because your brain is going to tell you you don't have time to do that. You got too much to do. If you do that, you're wasting time. These are all the stories and limiting beliefs that I've caught, from high-performing entrepreneurs that I coach all the time that share this with me as a way to defend their position. What I'm going to encourage you to do is do what the successful entrepreneurs do, recharge, not just discharge. So with that, I know you found value in this video. Give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to this video channel. Make sure you hit that notification button so that you can be alerted when we come out with 3 videos a week for you guys. Look, if you're a high-performing entrepreneur, you want to know tips, tricks, and secrets of those others that are successful just like you or maybe a little bit ahead of you. I've been doing this for a decade with them. I've learned the process of what they've gone through. So make sure you subscribe so that you can get the tips you need to do to go to that next level, to increase your finances, to have more fulfillment, to go to that next level and have your breakthrough. So with that, make sure you comment. I'd love to know what you took away from this video. How are you going to recharge? What are some of the things that you are going to do to recharge? Because when you do it, the game changes. I promise you. So with that, my name's Joe Moffett with Master Life by Design. Have a great one. See ya.